Winklaar.
All right, Sean Ray, your people's champion is the #3 bodybuilder in the world.
Rubiel Mosquera.
There he is, Rubiel Mosquera.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Once again, we've got a comparison for you today. If you love bodybuilding, this video is for you. In today's showdown, we're putting two mass monsters side by side. Roelly Winklaar from the 2018 Mr. Olympia and the rising beast, Rubiel Mosquera, fresh off his impressive 4th place finish at the 2024 Dubai Pro. Roelly Winklaar, known as the Beast, is a seasoned veteran in bodybuilding with a physique that left a lasting impression in 2018. Meanwhile, Rubiel Mosquera, nicknamed Nextzilla, is a force to be reckoned with in the new generation of bodybuilders. He's from Colombia and is already causing waves with his massive frame and thick musculature. The big question is who comes out on top when we compare their physiques? I'm super excited to dive into this comparison because both athletes have something truly special. So without wasting more time, let's jump right into it. In the front double biceps pose, both Roelly Winklaar and Rubiel Mosquera put on impressive displays of mass and muscle, but each brings a different level of conditioning and aesthetics to the table. Roelly's physique in this pose stands out due to his incredible conditioning and overall muscle maturity. His narrow waist emphasizes the width of his shoulders and the roundness of his biceps, giving him that truly aesthetic look. His midsection is tight and well-defined, adding to the sharpness of his lines. His quads also appear full and have deep cuts, showcasing his dedication to fine-tuning his physique. Roelly's muscle separation is one of the best, and when he hits this pose, everything is in perfect harmony. Rubiel Mosquera, known for his sheer size, competes strongly in this pose. His biceps are massive and his quads, though large, aren't as conditioned or sharply defined as Roelly's. Rubiel's waist appears wider, which contrasts with the sharp lines that Roelly has, but his size and muscularity are undeniable. However, in terms of aesthetics and overall symmetry, Roelly's pose takes the lead, as his tighter midsection and defined muscles shine through more clearly. Rubiel is still a powerhouse with his larger, more massive frame, but his lack of conditioning and the balance in his physique leaves him a step behind Roelly in this pose. So what is really happening in this pose? Let's run through each part of the row show for you, and please correct me if I'm misunderstanding them. Now, let's move on to the front lat spread pose. This is where Rubiel Mosquera begins to show his massive potential. His wide, thick lats spread out dramatically, making him look like a beast in this pose. His shoulders are wide and his chest is filled with density, making his upper body look even broader. Rubiel's overall size and width in this pose give him a clear edge. His quads are also massive, with thick, solid mass that makes them stand out. But what sets Rubiel apart in this pose is his ability to open up his lats fully, creating a display of pure width that few can match. Roelly Winklaar, on the other hand, struggles a bit in the width department compared to Rubiel. His lats, although thick and well developed, don't spread as widely, and his shoulders lack the sheer roundness that Rubiel presents. Roelly is more compact in his physique in this pose, but his muscle detail, especially in his quads, shines through. His quads have deep cuts and muscle separation that Rubiel doesn't quite match, showing that Roelly's conditioning is always on point. However, in the context of this pose, Rubiel's width and overall mass carry more weight, and he earns the win here. In the side chest pose, both athletes bring massive muscle size to the table, but Roelly Winklaar's superior conditioning and overall roundness give him the upper hand. Roelly's chest is not only huge, but incredibly full and round, filling out his side profile in a way that captures attention. His shoulders are massive and his arms look like they could burst out of his skin, which gives his upper body dominance. Roelly's legs, although sometimes not as prominent as his upper body, have solid definition and mass, with deep cuts in the hamstrings and quads. Rubiel Mosquera also has a great chest with thickness and solid mass, but it doesn't quite measure up to Roelly's sheer size and fullness. His legs, although strong, lack the detail and definition of Roelly's. Rubiel's overall pose is powerful and he has that mass monster look, but it's Roelly's conditioning, depth, and sheer roundness of muscle that make him the winner in this pose. If Rubiel could bring a bit more sharpness and refinement to his muscle detail, he could have the edge here. But for now, Roelly takes this one. In the back, double biceps pose. Both Roelly and Rubiel have thick muscular backs, but the comparison between them shows the depth and definition that Roelly brings to the table. Roelly has that narrow waist, which accentuates the depth and width of his back. His lats flare out and the overall separation and muscle detail in his back are phenomenal. His back has deep cuts and visible striations that reveal just how much work he has put into every fiber of his muscles. His glutes, hamstrings, and calves have an impressive definition that creates a balanced, full look. Rubiel Mosquera, although possessing a larger and wider back, doesn't quite match Roelly in terms of definition and detail. His back lacks the depth and striations that Roelly possesses, which leaves Roelly's physique looking more refined. Rubiel's muscle mass is undoubtedly impressive, but without the depth and definition, Roelly wins this pose. His well-defined back makes all the difference here as he showcases his hard-earned details that Rubiel has yet to master. In the back lat spread pose, Roelly Winklaar truly shines. This pose allows Roelly to show off the depth of his back, and it's here that his physique stands out the most. His back is so well defined with clear lines separating his lats from his traps and delts. The muscle detail is so crisp that it almost seems like it's been chiseled from stone. His back is thick but also beautifully aesthetic as he pulls off the perfect combination of mass and detail. Roelly's rear delts are prominent and his lats are well defined, giving him a fluid yet muscular appearance. Rubiel Mosquera, although having impressive mass, doesn't have the same level of conditioning. His lats are wider, but they lack the maturity and depth of Roelly's. Rubiel's back appears more blocky and less detailed compared to Roelly's fluid lines. While Rubiel's back is massive, the lack of definition and sharpness gives Roelly the upper hand in this pose, as he brings both size and detail, making his back lat spread pose far superior. When it comes to the abs and thigh pose, Roelly Winklaar steals the spotlight. His abs are perfectly defined with deep cuts that add to the overall sharpness of his physique. His midsection is tight and controlled, which makes his entire abdominal region pop. Roelly's quads are not only massive but have exceptional detail. The lines and cuts on his legs are clear, showing off his dedication to getting the muscle separation just right. His overall control in this pose is flawless, as every muscle in his body seems to flex with precision. Rubiel Mosquera, on the other hand, faces some challenges in this pose. While his quads are large, they lack the same level of definition that Roelly's do. His midsection is also a weak point in this pose, as he struggles with control, and his abs don't have the same level of clarity. His stomach appears a bit bloated, which detracts from the overall aesthetic of his physique in this pose. Roelly's sharper, more defined midsection and legs make him the clear winner here. Finally, in the most muscular pose, Roelly Winklaar once again comes out on top. His massive size, especially in his upper body, dominates this pose. His chest, shoulders, and arms are all absolutely massive and full, giving him the edge over Rubiel. Roelly has this incredible, freakish quality about his physique, where every muscle seems to be swollen with size. The conditioning of his muscles, particularly the details in his chest, shoulders, and arms, is second to none. Rubiel Mosquera has great muscle mass, but his conditioning is not as sharp. While he is large and thick, he lacks the definition that Roelly brings. His arms and chest don't have the same full round appearance that Roelly's do, and his midsection lacks the control necessary to truly shine in this pose. The sheer mass and definition that Roelly brings to the most muscular pose give him a significant advantage, and he takes the victory here. Each of these bodybuilders brings something incredible to the stage, but it's clear that Roelly Winklaar's conditioning, muscle detail, and overall physique give him the edge in nearly every pose. Rubiel Mosquera is a rising star with massive potential, and as he continues to develop his physique, he could become a serious contender. But for now, Roelly's experience, size, and conditioning make him the winner in this comparison. So after breaking down all these pro shows, who came out on top? While Rubiel Mosquera is a massive threat and has the potential to be a top contender, it's clear that Roelly Winklaar's combination of size, conditioning, and muscle maturity gives him the edge in this comparison. Roelly's freakish muscle density, deep cuts, and overall beastly presence on stage make him one of the most impressive athletes to ever step onto the Olympia stage. Rubiel, though still young and growing, has the size and potential to challenge in the future if he brings the conditioning and definition needed to match his frame. But here's the thing. What do you think? Can Rubiel Mosquera rise to Roelly's level and eventually take on the likes of other Olympia legends? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this comparison, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more in-depth breakdowns. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.